Triple XP.
You are here to watch porn. We are not a porn podcast. We are triple XP for like experience points like the games, but stick around. We don't shame anybody here. Everyone's welcome. You might even like what we have to say.
We're not a porn podcast. Although, yes, we have mentioned porn on the podcast before. We have spoken about it openly within context, not in that we are a porn podcast. Yet. Welcome aboard. This is Triple XP. Welcome to Triple XP. This is... What episode are we on? What number? I know. Something? 13? 14?
13. I think 13.
13. Welcome to Triple XP, episode 13. As you can see, it's just me and Cheese. Mike has abandoned us, although this time not just because he's got fatherly duties, but because he's swanning around in Portugal, I believe.
Yeah, he
is.
Is
It Portugal? Yeah, I swear it's Portugal.
Yeah, it's Portugal. Which is interesting. He doesn't seem like and I don't know that much about Portugal, so I'm going to just go out on a limb here that Mike's sitting on some sunny beach somewhere by the ocean, because I can't imagine he loves hot weather and he doesn't like water. I know that. So it doesn't seem like he might as well have gone to like the Swiss Alps. That seems like more Mike than laying on a beach.
Yeah. I feel like he's a man after my own heart. I don't like hot weather or water either.
I like water, but I don't like sweating for fun.
Well, I mean, he's got a Switch, so that could be like, I don't mind the hot weather so much if I get to sit outside and play the Switch. He might have taken a book. Chances are low, but
chances are very low. He's probably got Audible or something on his phone.
Yeah, to be fair, he's got the kids with him, so he'll probably have his hands fairly tired with the two little ones.
Yeah, so he can just have his AirPods in and walk around listening to his
Danger 5. His amazing audiobook.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you need to add that to your list if you haven't seen it. I don't know if you've seen the conversations this week in the Discord, but if you haven't watched Danger 5, you should watch Danger 5. That is all.
What's Danger 5?
It's I believe it's Australian comedy show.
I remember you guys talking about this now.
Yeah, that basically think like sort of like G.I. Joe or like Thunderbirds, like those old school shows, and it's basically about a crack squad, the Danger 5. There's a team of 5 of them, 2 females, 3 males, and they are sent in to deal with extreme and extraordinary situations. So I think it's episode 2 or 3. They get sent to an island where Hitler, because it's during World War II, where Hitler is developing an army of dinosaurs that he's brought back to life so that he can win the war. And they need to go in and find out how he's doing it and stop him. And the ultimate aim of the show is for Danger 5 to kill Hitler. That's the ultimate aim. But it is a ridiculous comedy, and it is fucking hilarious.
That sounds lovely.
And it's all on YouTube.
We've been watching Our Flag Means Death on HBO. It's on HBO here. It's Taika Waititi's show where like it's a bunch of ragtag pirates and they just kind of like go about doing pirate shit, but like they don't really know how to do it. That's a great show too. I think that's one of the most popular shows in I don't know if it's the country or the world. It has to be country, I suppose, right now. But that's a pretty good show too. Sounds similar humor.
What's it on?
It's on HBO Max here, but you don't have HBO Max, do you?
No. It'll be on something eventually over here, I imagine, one day. But until then, I'll have to wait.
It's a great show, but I guess you'll get to enjoy it someday.
One day.
Someday.
One day. One day in the future. Who knows? Who knows? To be fair, I've been watching a show that you wouldn't necessarily associate with me to watch, or that I wouldn't normally necessarily go to look for.
My Little Pony?
No, not My Little Pony.
I could see you totally being a brony. You're blurring out your pony collection, aren't you?
Yeah, that's exactly.
You don't want to make us jealous of your collection.
It's a quality collection, to be fair. No, there's a TV show. It's on Disney Plus over here. I don't know what channel it was originally on over your side of the water. Dollface with Kat Dennings.
I've heard of this. I think it's on Hulu here.
Potentially. I really enjoy it.
What?
It's basically it's a very like very much aimed at females. It's very much aimed at women and about women empowerment and things. But it's essentially Kat Dennings' character. The season one, she splits up with her partner, who she's been with for a while, and she realizes upon splitting up with her partner that her entire life was around this relationship, and she has no friends left. She has nothing that she calls her own.
That sounds like life.
Um, Yeah, and her entire world is basically a mess because everything she had, she was putting into this relationship. And then it's kind of just a whirlwind from there of her trying to like get her shit together and gain back her own personal version of self-worth as a woman. But it's actually surprisingly enjoyable. Like me and the other half watch it, and she really enjoys it. And yeah, I find the comedy's pretty funny. It's
Nice.
got Brenda in it as well,
It's called Dollface.
and then Dollface and two women that I can't name because I don't know who they are. I just know them from the show. But it's surprisingly enjoyable.
I'm pretty sure that's Hulu. I'll look it up. I just wrote it down, so I'll see what it's about.
Yeah, as I say, it's Disney Plus over here, so fuck knows what it is over there.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Because
Well,
like Disney, ABC owns like all that shit anyway, so it really doesn't matter what they put it on. It shows up somewhere.
no, it's on the Star version over here as well, not
Oh,
the like as in it's on Disney Plus, but they've got that little bit under Disney Plus called Star. I don't know if you have the same in
no, we
America.
don't.
So I think that's all the stuff that gets shown on like other things in America that Disney has ownership over on like international waters, maybe.
This says new
Um,
season is premiering on Hulu here for Dollface.
yeah, yeah, there you go. Because I think that's the same with and I don't watch this, but my partner does. The Kardashians, pretty sure that's Hulu, but over here that's Disney Plus.
Yeah, yep.
So
Disney actually owns, I think, a majority share of Hulu. I think they're the controlling
that makes
entity.
sense.
I think they own
Off the
like,
world,
yeah, no shit, pretty much.
pretty much.
Yeah.
They're up there owning everything. What's that? You own every sport out there? Yes, we do. Just
Well,
nobody knows.
it's funny actually because that's been discussed where so Disney owns ABC here and they also own ESPN, which is a worldwide
Mhm.
thing. But ESPN really only has the rights to like college basketball. Like they don't
Yeah,
have
ESPN doesn't
access
really
to
have
the
a
NBA.
rights
They
to a
don't
lot of
really
things.
have they have like one-off games, but like they don't really have the rights to anything. And I can't remember what company it was, but I'm pretty sure they were getting sued for some of the rights, or ESPN was getting sued, I think is what it was. I don't know. But it's funny because Disney doesn't like they own so much, but they really just have the name in sports. They don't have any of the actual sports. Like, isn't that weird to
No,
think about? ESPN doesn't play the shows that they comment on. That's what the whole channel is for. That commentary is on top of commentary because that original commentary is on the channels that is not ESPN.
see, and this is coming completely from a UK point. Obviously, I don't know what ESPN is like over your side of the water, what it shows, but ESPN over here is absolutely shit.
I don't
It
watch
just
it
shows shit.
anymore.
It's mostly just like unnecessary extreme sports replays, like people jumping off of cliffs and stuff. That's
Oh,
not that
really?
interesting when you've seen it more than once.
I don't think that really happens here. I think it's mostly like, oh, well, let's break down the latest the latest whisperings in the NBA trade market. Like it's more analytical than like, oh, here's a replay of the World Red Bull BMX finals from 2012. Like sometimes we get that, but we also have ESPN Classic here. My pen stopped working. I'm trying to fix it.
I think there's a couple of ESPN shows over here, but again, I like you, I don't watch them. I do need to start watching the NHL though, because we're going into playoffs
Yeah.
now. So I actually need to start paying more attention to what's going on.
I'm the exact same way with NHL, and it's odd because I love going to games. We have a minor, I guess I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's like the minor league team.
Yep.
They're the farm team of the Minnesota Wild, the Iowa Wild, and we try to go to at least one game a year, and it's so much fun to attend and watch. And I kind of imagine like NASCAR's maybe in the same realm, not quite the same realm. I don't want to put NASCAR and hockey together, but those things are much more interesting when it's live in front of you instead of through a screen because it doesn't translate. Like that speed of hockey and the line changes and all that stuff is incredibly fast in person. And you watch it on TV and it's just such a wide scoped camera angle that it looks like it's all right in front of you and it doesn't look that fast. But man, you see that shit in person and you're like, I could like hockey. I like hockey.
I think that's true of 99% of sports, though.
Basketball is another one that's kind of like
I
that.
think most sports are
Baseball.
more enjoyable in person.
I don't think so for
The
football. Football, like
I
American
was about to
football.
say, and I have to base it on your opinion because I've never gone to a American football game.
I've
But
only been to one.
the amount of stoppages involved. What happens in the stadium when there's a stoppage? Because at least at home I get to
Yeah.
watch adverts. Like what's happening?
So I've only been to one game, and I was like 14 years old, I think. It was when the Green Bay Packers played the Minnesota Vikings, and it was in Minnesota. So it was my team's away game, but that away team is closer to where I lived than the other. So we went to that one, and that was like a dome, a stadium. So it
Hmm.
was indoors, and it was a shitty old stadium, and it was like the last couple of years that that stadium was going to exist before they were going to implode it and build this brand new stadium, which is awesome. Uh, and when you're there, like I love college football, and I've been to, I don't know, probably 20 college football games, maybe not that many, but that's amazing. That's you and 45,000 people just like you who love that team and are watching these kids play, and it's awesome. When you go to a pro event, it's a little different because these people paid, I think we were literally in the last row of the entire stadium, way up there, cheap
Yeah.
seats. But our cheap seats were still like $150 a ticket, and this was not like a big game by any means. So when you're in an arena with not 45,000, but like 65,000 people, and they all paid plenty to be there, but you're on the opposing team's fandom, it's a little intimidating. Some of those people were huge and scary and loud and fanatical, but you're so far back that it makes the field look really tiny. And then it's just kind of like, it's like playing Madden almost. So, like, it's better to sit at home, watch the amazing production unfolding before your eyes on ABC or ESPN or whatever it is with some professionals talking about it. It's a little more luxurious versus like you said, there are a lot of media timeouts and stuff. And even in the indoor football league that I go to the games uh, in town here, I go to all those games and there's a lot of stoppage time and it's mostly like, oh, well, we're going to do a promotion. So they grab a fan and ask a trivia question or something. And otherwise in the pros, they just blast like loud music and they do some stupid chant and you're just like scared a little bit because everybody's yelling in your ear. And yeah, football, I don't know about. Soccer's another one too, though. The other football, I can't imagine that that'd be amazing to be at with like 80,000 people. I don't know. I'm sure have you been?
I've been to one football game in the UK, but it wasn't like a league thing or anything like that. It was like a low level league.
Oh,
Um, and yeah, it was enjoyable. It was more enjoyable than watching it on telly, but it's not necessarily my cup of tea. Also, like the UK football and the obviously American soccer are two very different levels
yeah, I agree.
of soccer.
Yeah, American
Um,
football is like where anybody that's 60 years old and played in the European leagues could come and still be a pretty big star in America.
yeah, I mean, I know that obviously Beckham did a lot for soccer when he joined. Is it LA? Can't remember what the name of the team.
Galaxy.
LA
Yeah,
something.
they can
Yeah,
come here and make a ton of money, but they're not going to get that like fame and those accolades that they would playing in
it's it,
Chelsea.
it's not just getting the fame and accolades though. It's just elevating the sport, isn't it? And I think he did an amazing job to elevate the sport in
Oh
America,
yeah,
but it's
massive.
still not. It's nowhere near the levels of Europe,
Right.
essentially.
We just don't care that much. I mean, we do, but we don't. Like our women's World Cup team is really good and people rally behind them and watch those games, but the men's soccer not so great.
I think part of the big thing is, and completely correct me if I'm wrong. The when I watch a lot of American sports, the you have as a country become extremely good at making it not just about the sport, but this massive media presentation. Like you say, you've got like these experts talking throughout the show, going to different things like they're putting on displays and stuff. It's this massive like presentation every single game.
Yeah.
Whereas sport over here, they try to minimize as much of that as possible. Like you've got the halftime like chat, but apart from that, it's just solid game all the way through. Halftime chat, solid game all the way through. There's not
Yeah.
stoppages to show adverts and stuff like that.
Well, that's America, baby. I mean, I think that's probably part of it. I think it's just we're kind of advertising whores, I guess. Like everything costs money, but at the same time, they're making so much money off of those. It really depends. And I think, at least here, since I don't want to say not that many people watch soccer. I don't, but like I'm sure a lot of people do. But I wonder, and this is pure speculative, I honestly have no idea, if they do more advertising and sponsoring and stuff, if less people watch it. But at the same time, that doesn't make much sense because if like the Super Bowl, if you've got 50 million people watching the Super Bowl and you play a Pepsi commercial, then that impact is going to be better than if you had 100,000 people watching soccer in a given area and they watch the same Pepsi commercial. Like, I wonder how companies, like, why would you want to be like, oh yeah, like honestly, soccer's not even on TV much here. If anything, we watch games that you're watching. Like that's what gets
Yeah,
telecast here through ESPN and that stuff. There's hardly any time I'm like, oh, the Portland Timbers are playing the Sporting KC team. Like, cool, but I'm not watching it because I don't know where to even watch it. It's not like primetime television here.
yeah.
It's probably like on
That,
YouTube or you pay extra through their website to see them or something, but it's not as accessible as like the NBA finals or the Stanley Cup playoffs or the like we spend more time and money on our stupid sports than your stupid sport.
Also, you seem to have an obsession as a country with either really quite slow paced sports, either due to the fact that the sport itself is slow paced or there's so many stoppages that seem to go on for fucking ever, or really, really, really quick sports that feel like they only last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like basketball feels so quick in
College
comparison
basketball does,
to
yeah.
like, and then you've got American football and baseball. And I've never watched baseball, but I know friends who have said, yeah, I've watched a baseball game that's like 4 hours long.
Yep.
Like 4 hours, I ain't got time for that shit. That's unnecessary for
Yeah.
anything.
I mean,
It's unnecessary.
I'm not much of a baseball watcher unless it's the playoffs, but even then I don't really care that much. But I mean, there's some days that I watch like if the NFL's going on. I mean, I can start watching a game at noon and watch it until 11 p.m. I mean, it's a solid 11-hour day sometimes of just sitting and watching football.
I mean, that's long. That's a lot. A lot. Well, that was a weird tangent to go off.
That
for
was a
us.
weird tangent. We
That
don't
was,
talk about sports.
not often, no. But anyway, the Kings are in the playoffs, so I'm excited to see how at what point we're not in the playoffs anymore.
I mean,
I'd like us to go to the end, but I can't see us going all the way to the end.
the Seattle Kraken suck horribly, so they're not in the playoffs. But I'm rooting for the Oilers.
Yeah, the Seattle aren't doing great. Dustin Brown has announced this his retirement year, so I would like us to get to the final, and I'd like us to take the cup, obviously, for his retirement year. But I just don't see the Kings as they are right now going to the final. We might do, but I mean, look at previous seasons. 2012 was ridiculous. If we have another season like that, we might do, but I can't see it happening. So we'll see. Coming away from that though, let's come away from sports for a minute.
I've got a good thing to go to. I've got a good.
Okay.
I got a good next bit. We are not a porn podcast.
That is exactly what I was going to come and say.
Nice. I was like, we should have started with this, but it's fine. For some reason,
I was considering starting with this, and then it completely went out my brain, and we started ranting about sport.
I wasn't sure which intro I would put on this in editing, and I probably won't do the great one until like our final episode. But it all stemmed from this sudden uptick in views where we were just not we don't even. I mean, we don't sit and watch our views by any means. That's not what matters to us. But when we look into the analytics to see what's happening and where things are happening, like who's watching and where, all of a sudden we went from like 30 views an episode to like 200 to 350, and we're like, what the fuck is happening? Like I didn't do anything new. We did have a couple episodes that had like Fortnite and Batman in the title of the podcast episode. I can't talk. But like that was all. I didn't change anything. We didn't do anything different. It's the same platforms.
So for the listeners, some context. As you said, we don't really watch our numbers specifically, but we have been doing a lot of work in the last couple of weeks around what the future of the podcast looks like.
Right.
Talking about our end of season finale episode and how we're going to look at that before we come back, go for our summer break before we come back for season 3. What we want to change with season 3. We started thinking about like trying to get some more. We've spoken about it before, but we never got around to actually doing it, like guests, and doing more with the Twitter, which we got better at for a while, and then we all got busy and shit happens. But yeah, so we just checked the analytics one day and was like, oh shit, geez, they've got 380 viewers for that.
Yeah.
And I went in and checked the YouTube recommendation videos, and 98% of those videos are some form of pornographic or sexual related videos. I say pornographic loosely,
but
because
it's YouTube. Yeah.
But sexual related. So our top video, for example, was something called like hot fuck scene on YouTube, which so obviously isn't that. But we're for some reason getting recommended.
You can see what video recommended us. You can see that.
Yeah, you can see it all on the analytics. I can literally tell you right now.
That's hilarious. I didn't know you could see exactly where you had come from. I thought it would just say like 98% from a recommended video, but not say which video.
No, so our recommendations, and I will tell you right now, I can see for the entire podcast as well. So yeah, 339 views were on for the last episode. It was episode 12. You're right, we are on 13. Glad we finally figured that out.
That was a lucky guess.
So 339 views, which is up from our normal 15. So you can see our concern with that sudden. We didn't do anything special. We didn't have any special guests or anything that make us go, "Oh, right. That's why we're watching this."
I mean, we're basically just trying to see what works and what doesn't work, and then all of a sudden we're like, "Why are we getting all these views from a porn video?" Then it hit me one time, Triple X is the first part of our name.
Yeah.
So
83% of our traffic comes from suggested videos. The rest come from like channel pages or Twitter. We get about 42% of our views from Twitter.
Yeah, I believe that.
The 83% that came from suggested videos. If I look at the suggested video, stand by. So the 87.8% of the views for that video came from a video called "Hot Fuck Scene" with 3 love heart emojis, love heart eye emojis.
Okay, first of all, who goes to YouTube to watch porn? I mean, I don't pay for that YouTube Premium, so I don't know if there's additional content that I'm missing out on. But who's like,
Well, yeah. So to give you some more context, the next one down, 2.2% of our views for that video came from Step Brothers. Let's fuck right now. Then it was Fuck, Marry, Kill, the game show, our previous episode.
So the Fuck, Marry, Kill one makes some sense. I mean, that makes some sense. Which there's another one coming soon, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see. Big Boss, Hot Sexy Girl removing clothing. Cute Girl removing her dress. The Story of Winter 2021. Fuck knows what that is.
We should have looked to see if this was all during like spring break. So like all these like middle school kids were at home with their tablet and they're just trying to watch porn on YouTube.
Maybe. The one that really threw me is Ninja Parade slips by a town unnoticed. How have we become recommended from that video?
Oh my god. I think I'm about to record my bit that I'm going to slide to the beginning of the episode, and that is, if you are here to watch porn, we are not a porn podcast. We are Triple XP for like experience points, like the games, but Stick around. We don't shame anybody here. Everyone's welcome. You might even like what we have to say. Hit that subscribe button.
Mrs. Foxmart's chicken dance. That's I don't know what it is. But yeah, Mrs. Foxmart's chicken dance.
Honestly, putting that clip at the beginning of the episode is a great idea.
Yeah, I think you definitely should. So I mean, that's not even all of them. That is a small list.
That's
from
amazing,
just the last,
and it's really just been the last couple
28 days.
Yeah, the last 2 episodes.
If I look back over the last year, we've got some very strange ones in there. I will tase you. Everyone's a cuck. Why I don't do porn. Do I have a performance issue?
Oh my god.
My flaccidus nasalus.
That should be the name of this episode. Flaccidus navidus.
This was my favorite one. How fucking ... That's it. That's what it's called. How fucking ...
Oh my god.
So yeah, anyway, that's as she said, we're not a porn podcast.
I'm gonna take this as your clip too, so say it again.
We're not a porn podcast. Although yes, we have mentioned porn on the podcast before. We have spoken about it openly within context, not in that we are a porn podcast.
Yet.
Who knows? Who knows where the future will take us? But yeah, so anyone who's come from a hot fuck scene, welcome.
One of those YouTube hot fuck scenes.
All those YouTube hot fuck scenes that you're looking at. Welcome to two random guys
fuck
talk
scene.
Sport and shit. So yeah,
I feel like that's the best bit we've ever done on this podcast. It's just that little section right there.
Just honestly, I don't even know what's going to happen with this episode. Like, whether we're gonna, because if you include "we're not a porn podcast" in the name, I feel like it's just going to skyrocket. It's it. We're going to have like 1,000 views.
I think I might put "porn podcast?" in the title.
That would be a great title.
Because if we say not a porn podcast, then they're going to be like, well, why the fuck did I click that then? But if we say maybe, they might be like, I better check this out.
If we just lay the bait out, they're going to be going through like, well, when does the porn get here? They spoke about balls. They spoke about sports. Portugal. Where are the balls?
We just start talking about the porn podcast, and then the next scene is just like us with our shirts off, still doing this as if nothing changed.
I just, as you say, like it boggles my mind the fact that there are people on YouTube looking these videos up that like are going, oh, I need to find a hot fuck scene on YouTube. Like, what? Why
doesn't that just sound like something some like amateur, like some little kid would probably type in like big boobs search? Like, it's YouTube.
But I get that from a searching point, but the fact that that video exists in the first place.
I mean, of course it does. Of course it does. Isn't there a saying out there that like if you can think of it, there's porn for it? Like it's
no, yeah, that's true. But that porn generally isn't on YouTube, is my point.
It'd be really funny if there was like a section of YouTube that was all porn, but it was just blurred out.
I can't see it getting past the guidelines, but yes, it would. But like that's the thing, like you say, I think it's Rule 34, isn't it? Like if you think of it, it exists. Like Thomas the Tank Engine exists on YouTube, which means there is somewhere out there is Thomas the Tank Engine porn. That's just not on YouTube. That's not where it lives. It lives in the dark deeps of the web.
What do you think will come up if I type in Thomas the Train porn on YouTube? This would be a really fun game to play on like share screen someday. Not right now. But this could be a really fun game. Because you won't get, if you play YouTube videos live, I don't think you get penalized for it. As long as it's not a song or something.
I don't know.
I'm typing it in.
I'm just getting over the fact that you just said penalized.
Do you say penalized?
Yeah.
Ugh,
and
gross.
It sounds
like it's penal, like penis. Thomas Train porn.
Well, we are a porn podcast, Cheese. Get with the times. We're
Thomas
developing
Sex Adventure HD Reload is what popped up first.
That looks like it's been made by a child as well. not only does it look like it's been searched for by a child, it's been made by a child.
Whoa, what is this? Okay, there's all
And
sorts
this
of things popping up that I was not expecting, but the fact that the first thing was Thomas the Train doing doggy to this, whatever this pink train car was.
What I've learned throughout the years is
That'd be a great tattoo.
YouTube / the internet is a really dark place, and if you delve deep enough, you will find some fucking weird things.
Does Jedi send you TikToks?
Yes, he does.
Okay, well then.
Yes, I am fully aware.
That's our little episodic Jedi shout out. If you don't watch his videos within about an hour of him sending them, there's a 95% chance of that video having been removed by the time you go to view it.
There are a handful of his videos that I've gone to watch like a day later, and it's like,
Yep.
video removed.
Yep. And I'm like, what was that video? That's when I want to see it so bad, because knowing him, and he sent it to you specifically, that was a professionally curated piece of filth.
The internet, man.
This is a great episode, man. This is great.
Mike's missing out. It's fucking
Mike would love this conversation too. He'd be
crying.
All over it. Yeah,
all over it. So I think just for the final time, I'm going to reiterate: we are not a porn podcast. We are, in fact, I don't even know what we are anymore. A video game /
we're just a podcast.
Nerdy culture / talk about whatever the fuck we want.
We're a pop culture. We're a pop culture podcast at this point.
Yeah.
That might actually be a really good way to phrase it. Like Triple XP, a pop culture, a popcast,
a popcast.
Popcast. That's a cool word.
That sounds like something that Funko's already doing.
Yeah, you're right. It probably.
I mean, I don't know if they are, but it sounds like something they would do. If
they're not, then I'm going to buy that domain and sell it to them.
Hey, why don't you try the new Funko Popcast? I'm
pretty sure that's real. And if it's not, then I don't know. Maybe Coca-Cola or Pepsi would be interested.
Maybe.
Because we call it pop in the Midwest.
Which is a strange name for it.
I mean, it's got bubbles in it, man. It makes a popping noise. It doesn't make a soda sound.
I get that. I mean, yeah. You've hurt my brain now.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'm trying to even think about. Well, I'm trying to think about what I would refer to it. I just refer to Coke as Coke.
You don't say soda?
No, I don't think I've ever said soda.
But like
in my life,
do you drink pop? Coke?
Yeah.
Are you a Coke drinker?
We used to buy Coke quite regularly in the house, but I would just say,
like, just Coke, not like Sprite or.
No, Coke. I mean, we've got Fanta right now, if you want to be very specific about it. But again, like
But do you call Fanta Fanta? Like, do you just call it by its brand name, or do you call it like all soda is Coke? Because that's a thing too. That's more of a Southern thing here.
Like I suppose the term for it over here is soft drink.
That's
but
fair.
I'm never going to go, oh, can I have a soft drink? I'll just say, give me a Coke.
I feel like soda sounds like it probably started as soft drink and then just became soda because it was a better word.
Yeah.
But I don't know where that name would come from.
Generally in my house, it's just, can I have a can? Because we buy the canned one, so we just say, can I have a can?
I mean, I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper right now, but I'd say either can I have a Dr. Pepper or can I have a pop, depending on the context of the situation.
Dr. P, we're about to porn already. Fuck's sake.
I hate this logo, by the way. Also, have you ever looked up the 23 flavors of Dr. Pepper?
No.
It's odd. There's anything from tomatoes to carrots to parsnips to juniper. Like it's an extensive list, but it's interesting. And then it's like, okay, why is there cherry Dr. Pepper if cherry's already one of the flavors?
You don't. I'm confused. Right.
Dr. Pepper advertises as containing 23 flavors. Like this in one can.
Because cherry Coke already tastes like Dr. Pepper. Like Dr. Pepper already has that sort of cherryish taste to it.
Yeah, because cherry is one of the flavors.
Yeah, so
But then they have cherry, like cherry Coke or cherry Dr. Pepper, and it's like, well, they're just putting extra cherry in at that time.
No, it's just Dr. Pepper with extra steps.
Yeah, exactly. Like they accidentally put too much cherry one time. Like, this is fantastic. We should market this shit. And they're like, all right, how about we make a vanilla one too? It's like, it's already a flavor, even better. And then they just put a little more vanilla in that mix.
You've hit on a point that I often think about this. I often think about weird fucking shit. And one of the things I do think about is like how someone when like somebody's going, right, we need a new drink. Do they come up with an idea of what they want it to taste like and then start working on different recipes until they get what they want? Or do they just start doing fucking random things until something tastes nice?
Like you're saying, like, was Dr. Pepper made on purpose?
No, or no, not just Dr. Pepper, like any drink. If someone came like before Coke existed, before some like Fanta existed, someone come along and say, I'd like a fizzy orange flavored drink, or did someone just go, let's put loads of shit in a can and see what happens?
I feel like a lot of that stuff started out as like some sort of medicinal beverage or something, like when they had like the
Lucozade.
soda
Lucozade
fountains. Yeah.
Well, Lucozade used to be medicinal in the UK at one point.
Do you guys have at restaurants and stuff where it's like the chunk of like soda on tap? Like where you walk up with your cup and you push it against the little plastic piece, and then like if you put it
yeah, but why did you just call it a chunk of soda like it was meat? Like, that's what confused me.
The section of pop.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever done it where you've put like every flavor in the same cup?
Yes,
that's Dr. Pepper. That's Dr. Pepper.
Because they're really like advanced now from when I was a kid. Because we have a Five Guys quite near us, and Five Guys is my favorite for those because they have the best machines.
The ones with the touch screens. Yeah. I don't know why I keep doing this for screens. What a fucking screen is. God damn, I have a tablet here too.
Yes, the touchscreen ones, and the reason being, like, when I was a kid, I remember, obviously, you used to be like, oh, yeah, we get the refill drink. Yeah. And then you've got, like, 3 flavors. You've got, like, Fanta Orange Diet, Coke Diet, and that's it. Get on with it. Move on with your life. Whereas now there's, like, 38 different flavors in it. You can get Powerade in it in 8 different flavors. Iced tea on tap. Yes, please.
Is it one of those two where it's like you pick your core soda, so like you can pick Sprite, and then you can add like strawberry, peach, vanilla.
Yeah,
you can pick the flavors at a time. Those are pretty cool because you're like, peach Sprite is fucking fantastic. Why is this not a thing? And then you're like, okay. By the time you're done with the drink, your stomach hurts because all the sugar. But yeah, those machines are pretty cool. We have those at the theater.
So I'm an iced tea drinker mostly. So I drink a lot of peach iced tea. But whenever I go there, I'm like, oh, they've got like 8 different iced tea flavors: raspberry iced tea, strawberry iced tea. I'm so excited by this iced tea
Dr.
selection going on.
Yeah,
yeah. So anyway, what I was going to say. Now we've come away from the porn, and now we've come away from the sports and whatever it was we were just talking about. Is we missed our last episode because of Easter. What have you been up to? It's been like 4 weeks since we did an episode.
It has been a long time. I've been watching a lot of movies lately. My wife's been busy, and I've been too lazy to like go back to the gym, which I'm starting this week finally. But my wife's been busy and gets home later, so I'm usually home 3 hours before her. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like sometimes I do like my little house chores, do the dishes, whatever. But once that stuff's done, I'm like, all right, what should we watch? And I think we should do a whole episode on Studio Ghibli, so I don't want to talk about that too much. But I have added several of those films to my watched list. Like, I've actually watched them. I'm pulling up my list to see what I watched. Since the last time we talked, I have watched A Silent Voice, which was a really sad... It's not Studio Ghibli. That was just a really sad anime movie on Netflix.
Yep.
Studio Ghibli, When Marnie Was There, Whisper of the Heart, Castle in the Sky. I've also watched Friday for the first time, which is funny, which is totally not any... That's the opposite of Studio Ghibli.
I mean, I don't know if it's the technical scientific opposite, but yes. I've actually met some of the cast to that film.
Really?
When I was visiting LA, they were in a restaurant on the table near us.
Nice, nice. I've
I say I
also
met them. I saw them from a distance, and one of my friends went up and was like,
you didn't
"Hi,"
bother
and they
them.
were like, "Go away." So we went away,
I also
basically.
I also watched a dope documentary on hummingbirds, and then
Interesting.
I just watched the whole series, The Queen's Gambit, because I for some reason never watched that.
So good.
That's a fantastic one. And then I also saw The Northman, so I don't really know which one of those 15 options you want to discuss, but I'm down for whatever. Hello, cat.
What
Down.
I mean, I most of those I've not seen, so you can talk about whichever one you want. But I would just like to say, having watched the Queen's Gambit, do you now want to suddenly just play chess every now and then?
I wish I could go back to being 4 and get good at math because it's just okay. Oh, are you gonna lay here? Okay, cat. She's peaceful right now. Yeah, I my brother and I used to play chess in terms of we kind of learned how to actually play like the rules, and we had the Harry Potter chess set. So we played a lot of games when we were growing up like that, a lot of chess games, but uh, I don't think I've probably played since, and I I love it. Like that whole mini series was so intriguing from the very beginning, and it's nothing crazy. Like it's mostly just chess and drug use, and it was
And
just
terrifying Russians.
true, true.
They were
The whole Cold
terrifying.
War, the whole Cold War panic thing about that was hilarious. And then like she meets with the church people, and they want her to like denounce communism on a public scene. Like what a bunch of shit. And it is a fictional account. I had to look it up to see if it was a real story or not, and it is not real, but it could be. Like it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not so
No,
fictitious that you're like, this is ridiculous. But that series was so great. I literally watched it in like 3 days. I think it was only 7 episodes, so that doesn't sound that ridiculous. But the acting was phenomenal. The cinematography and the music was phenomenal. The story was just so well done. It just kind of had like an ominous kind of eerie overtone to the whole series, but ultimately it's not uplifting. It's just like this girl endured so much to reach her goals, and then she is reaching her goals, and like life just keeps hitting her in the face. Like it's a little brutal, but it's awesome. I'm so bummed I didn't watch that a year and a half ago when it came out. And part of the reason I
yeah, we
watched it
watched
is
when it came out.
because the girl Anya, whatever her name is, Anya, what is her name? Um,
I don't know. I'm awful with names.
the main girl, Anya Taylor Joy. She was also in The Northman. She's also in like The Witch, which the guy that directed The Witch also directed The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, and then he's the guy that did The Northman that I just saw
Yeah,
also. I don't think you've seen this one yet, right? The Northman.
never heard of it.
Oh, really?
What's it on?
Aiden was talking about this. It's in theaters right now. This is the
Oh,
one that's about the Vikings. Oh
never heard
man,
of it. I've not. I don't really keep up keep up with cinema at the moment because I never go. So
that's fair. But if you would have seen the trailer for this movie, you would have been like, "Holy shit, this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla in a movie." And honestly, it's not too far off. It wasn't as battle driven and gory, crazy fight scenes, but did you ever see The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio?
no, I heard a lot about it, but I never saw it. Oh,
Okay,
I think I've seen the trailer for this actually. Just looking at the images now.
it's
Um,
insane. But it's kind of like The Revenant, I would say, for people who are listening. It's kind of that slower pace, but again, beautiful cinematography and score, and the acting, again, phenomenal. It's getting good reviews. The movie's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think, but it's also paced very well, so it doesn't feel like a long movie. I will say the trailer itself is slightly misleading because they kind of pick out the awesome battle scenes to show in that, and you're like, okay, leading into it, going into that movie, you're like, I'm going to get 2.5 hours of nonstop axe to throats, like it's going to be a bloodbath. And then you get in there and there's actual story and stuff. So it's a good thing because the movie didn't rely on those special effects and the battle sequences so much. They had an actual story with substance. So it was worth watching. I think you
Interesting cast.
yes.
I say that with regards to Nicole Kidman, William Dafoe, and Ethan Hawke.
So
Because compared,
Ethan Hawke and Willem Dafoe are only in like the first 15 minutes, and that's not really a spoiler. That's just kind of like I thought they were going to be in it a lot. They're not. Nicole Kidman's in it quite a bit, but doesn't have like a big role. And man, her face, I don't know what she did to her face, but like it looks sharp all of a sudden. Like I don't know if she had a facelift or something, but literally her nose in the shadows that it would cast during the screening, like it was terrifying. It looked like a knife sharp nose.
like obviously Alexander Skarsgård, but the rest of the cast is like not necessarily unknown, but aren't
Right.
exactly huge stars that you would instantly know. And then it strikes me as odd that those three are specifically with this project. But interesting. I
Yeah.
will say I'll check it out at the cinema because I won't say that. Sorry, because I'll be lying. I'm not going to the cinema.
Are you looking forward to Doctor Strange in cinema, or are you not going to see it in
I,
cinema?
I am seeing that in the cinema. I
Okay.
do already have a ticket
Me too. I got
for
to see it.
Thursday.
I got to see it next Sunday.
We're going to see it Thursday. I'll be too hungover on Sunday to do
Oh
anything.
yeah. Oh,
I'll
you got a
probably won't be able
perfect
to.
weekend planned out then, man. Damn.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, barbecue night, stag do. Feel sorry for myself.
And for
Back to
any
work.
American listeners, that means it's his bachelor party weekend.
Yeah, that's the one. Bachelor party weekend.
Yes.
And my partner has also already said that she's going to go out and buy all the stuff to do like a big fry up breakfast
Nice.
on Sunday because I will probably not be able to leave the bed without wanting to die.
Yeah, so when we had my bachelor party, I was telling you about this before the episode, but we had it at my friend's house, and we had a co-bachelor party because he was getting married the week before me, and we have pretty much the same friend group, and so he hosted it, and so that meant I could just walk home and go to bed in my own bed that night and not have to worry
Nice.
about the cleanup so much. So I'm sorry, Brady, that I left you with a mess, but I think I helped you something. I don't know. He offered
Nice.
to
Yeah,
host it.
we did something similar for a friend of the show, Max. His stag do last year was right in the height of COVID. So, well, I say height of COVID. It was towards the back end of COVID where you could start having groups again, but you could only do it in your garden. Like you weren't allowed to go places. And we had two friends Max and another friend who had stag do's at similar times. So we ended up just having a big old garden party at mine, which was fun. But I've still got a bucket of alcohol left in my garden that's been there for over a year. It's now being used to kill slugs. Apparently, slugs like beer. Who knew? That's what I'm told.
That's awesome.
Is it?
I mean, for the
Apparently,
slugs.
it's what I'm told is if you leave a half full bottle of beer on its side on the like where you don't want slugs to be, they'll go in. They'll smell it. They'll go in and drink it and die. So they just die a death of alcohol.
I mean, are slugs good or bad for your garden?
They eat your vegetable plants and stuff. Like they're bad. They're a pain in the ass.
Oh, well then leave
And
out some more beer.
well, yeah, and the government's now banned pellets. Like there's slug killing pellets you can buy, but the government's banned them now as well. So you have to use like these weird felt things or beer.
Interesting.
So, yeah, but yeah, that was a weird
Yeah, we were
segue
talking about
again.
Doctor Strange. What are your
Yes.
expectations for Doctor Strange? I think this is an important conversation.
So, firstly, are you aware? Because our again friend of the show Ryan informed me that Marvel have released the pre-watch list. Are you aware of the pre-watch list?
I don't know what that means. No.
What you need to have seen to fully
Oh.
understand Doctor Strange.
I mean, I've seen everything except for like Falcon Winter Soldier on Disney Plus.
Then you're fine. Basically, what Marvel have stated to anybody listening who doesn't know, Spider-Man, obvious reasons. The most recent Spider-Man was it No Way Home.
Yep.
WandaVision, again, obvious reasons. We know she's in it from the trailer.
I loved WandaVision.
And
I'd say that's the second best Disney show so far.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Actually, or maybe the best behind, I don't know, Moon Knight, depending on how this last episode goes, could be number one. But
yeah,
we can
Moon
discuss
Knight's.
that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
what was the next one I was going to say?
WandaVision.
Obviously, the original Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Again, obvious because otherwise you wouldn't know who he is.
Doctor Strange was playing.
And
Doctor Strange was playing on a TV at a Mexican restaurant that I was at last night. I just want to point that
oh,
out.
really?
Yeah.
And what if? But
I didn't watch that, and I'm not going to. But I know
I
why I
didn't.
need to.
But Ryan did. He did say, in his opinion, and he's quite the Marvel like
The Marvel.
nerd, for want of a term. Yeah, he knows a lot about it. But he did advise that you only really need to watch. I think it's episode 4, which is the
Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Strange specific episode, because one of the characters in the show is going to be straight from that show. One of the characters in the film is straight out of that episode.
There's a couple, actually. I know of 2.
Well, I'm referring to. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who is going to go away and watch that, but there is a very, 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 very specific character that you see in the trailer that is kind of how that person comes to exist.
Yeah. And I think I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of connections to that show because they can. They have the chance to throw in all these little Easter eggs of all these characters from every universe.
Yeah, but it's just, what if it was so shit?
I'm just saying, like, they could be like the Tom Cruise Tony Stark that's been rumored for years. How Tom Cruise was going to be before
that would be great. But I stand by this, and I think I've mentioned this before on the cast. I can't remember if we spoke about it before or not. But I stand by Star Wars Visions and The Boy is Diabolical. Both of those did a better job with what they were trying to achieve than what If did. And it's because both of those took that method of using different art styles for each episode. And I think if What If had done a similar thing and gone down a different route every episode, it would have been better.
I agree.
But the art style they chose was unpleasant, and
That's
it didn't
why I've
fit
never
with
watched it. Yeah.
No, it's a horrible art style, and it didn't fit with this, in my mind, with this idea of being a multiverse, because you would expect each one to look different. Like,
Right.
why does all the universes look the same? It doesn't make sense. So yeah, that's that. But
so are you looking forward to Doctor Strange? What do you expect to happen? Like what is your, like, if this happens, blank happens, you will walk out of that theater happy. Like what are you looking for?
I actually, I'm nothing. I'm not looking forward. No, I'm looking forward to the film, but there's nothing specific that I'm looking forward to happening. I'll be honest, I don't know. I know who Doctor Strange is, and I've got a good understanding of him as a character, but I've never really read many of the Doctor Strange comics, so I don't know his like core storylines.
Sure, I don't either.
No, I don't.
I liked his first movie.
Yeah, and his first movie kind of gave you an idea about Doctor Strange is to expect the unexpected, because it will go in a weird way that you won't anticipate it going. If this is, and I suppose the one thing that for me, if they pull this off, and it is what people are hoping it's going to do, if this is their introduction to mutants in the MCU,
nice.
Then, because there's a lot of, have you seen the rumors around the clip in the trailer with the like Illuminati time guy?
No, but I did see on Twitter that they confirmed that the Illuminati would be referenced in this movie.
There's a clip in the trailer where I can't remember exactly. I think it's Doctor Strange. He walks into a room and there's people in these chairs, and one of them appears to talk to Strange.
Nice.
Don't know who these people are, but a lot of people are saying it sounds, and generally from the back looks like Professor X.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's going to go down that route and it's going to open the doors for the X-Men to come in.
I thought they already confirmed that he was in it.
I don't pay attention to these things.
I'm pretty sure they confirmed that. What's his name? Patrick Stewart.
But is he going to be in it in that Professor X format, or is he going to be in it in a completely different format altogether?
I thought I saw this. Like, I thought I saw the clip that was it just his voice, or was it him sitting in the wheelchair?
It was the back of the head, so you didn't quite see if it's. I don't think it showed his face. I think
it showed him like in a wheelchair though, and you could see. And then because he had addressed it himself, the actual actor had said something about how, who would have thought after being Professor Xavier 20 years ago that the fans would be able to recognize me by my voice in a trailer.
I agree, but also I've also learned again from Marvel
Yeah.
to never
Yeah.
trust anything
Yeah.
until the film's out. Look at Spider-Man, look at Infinity War. That fucking clip in Infinity War still haunts me where you see the Hulk bust out of the Hulkbuster suit and it doesn't even fucking happen. Like I don't trust anything Marvel
I still hate
does
the
pre-release.
part of the No Way Home trailer where they were gonna they were punching uh the three villains, but they cut out the two
Yeah.
Spider-Mans. Like that plays in my head over and over how that trailer
See,
looked like shit. Like why even include that clip if you're gonna have to edit it so much? Like it just
see,
wasn't that important.
I feel like that was done on purpose though to get people hyped about the idea there would be free because people would do that evidence digging.
Yeah, because
But
there
the
was
thing with
a
that clip,
Brazilian trailer that leaked that
yeah,
showed like him
an
getting
extra few
punched in the
seconds.
face in higher definition or something.
But the thing is, that clip, that trailer, at least that was a clip from the film. The
True.
clip of
Yeah,
Hulkbuster
that's
coming
true.
out of the suit, like it shows them running out of woodland. That doesn't even there isn't even any woodland in that scene. It doesn't make it, the scene doesn't exist. It's a non-existent scene that they've just thrown in the trailer to throw everybody off.
Yeah,
So
fan
I'm excited
service.
for it, but I've got no specific excitements for it. I'm just interested to see where it goes. I think I'm more interested to see. I know that Doctor Strange can and will become more powerful than he is now,
Yeah.
but I also feel like he's already quite powerful, and I'm interested to see where they're going to take Wanda because we know at the back end of WandaVision that she has unlocked her almost
Dark
ultimate
side.
levels of power
Yeah.
now. Yeah, she's in her more Scarlet Witch form, isn't she? In
Yep.
her like full going, I can fucking control anything and everything, and I will do it.
Yeah.
Form.
I'm pretty excited for this. I think I'm seeing it in IMAX. I don't know. My friend bought the tickets, so I just have to pay him back. But I'm expecting a
I
couple of
still have to
things.
pay my friend as well.
I'm expecting
Still
a
haven't done that.
couple of things. I mean, think about it this way. Marvel slated this movie to come out after No Way Home, which would be an impossible task for most movies. So this movie has stuff in it that most of us don't know about. I don't think anybody does. They've been pretty hush about this plot, similar to Spider-Man. Like we didn't really know what the storyline of No Way Home was going to be. We just knew that like, oh, well, all these other people might be in it. Okay, great. But with Doctor Strange, I mean, it's like the inception of Marvel movies. It's going to be mind fucky. It's going to be you're probably going to get a little dizzy. I mean, but since it is following Spider-Man and those floodgates have been burst wide open, like literally anything could be in this movie. And the fact that it is
Yeah.
so hush hush means it's going to be something pretty awesome. And it's going to be something that sets up Marvel for a long time because Doctor Strange right now is, besides Thor and Spider-Man, those are like the main franchises going on right now. So
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else is on its way
Guardians has
out.
one more coming out, I guess. But
That's tied in. Yeah, I mean that's not till next year, is it? 23. I
I
want to
think
say
so.
Guardians
They're
3?
basically wrapping up the last phase with like those characters before we launch into some new characters, I think.
But we're not going to have a good understanding of where Guardians 3 is going to go until we see 4 Love and
Right.
Thunder
Yeah.
because the Guardians are going to appear in that.
And that's going to be
Um,
awesome regardless. You know that movie's going to be great. But Doctor Strange, I'm hoping, is more on the horror side, which they've said it's a horror movie. It's Sam Raimi, right? I mean, it's going to be odd. It's going to be twisted. It's going to be dark-ish. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Interesting.
I'm looking forward to all sorts of Easter eggs and all sorts of characters that we didn't know existed. And if let's put it this way, if we get a big character that everybody wants and it's someone actually famous, most likely we're going to get a series or a Disney Plus show out of it. You would think.
my only concern, and I you know, although I'm always all for them dropping these sort of big things, is that Disney need to play it careful because there's going to become an expectation that for every film from fans that it's going to have a Spider-Man had obviously the Spider-Men drop.
Right.
There's going to be an we know that Love and Thunder has already announced that we're going to see Lady 4,
Right.
which a lot of fans
It's
are excited
huge.
for.
Yeah.
And yeah, although Marvel slash Disney have got a huge plethora of characters they can choose from, there's going to come a point where they're not going to be able to drop some incredibly large character that that people are going to get excited about, and they need to play these drops carefully and safely so
True.
that it's not. It's kind of like, and this is going to sound mad, but it's kind of like when you're training a dog. You don't want to train it so that it only ever trains thinking it's going to get a treat every single time,
True.
because then when it stops getting a treat, it will be like, well, what the fuck's my treat? You have to like weed it off the treat so that it knows that it has to do it no matter what. And they've got to kind of do that and say, look, we're going to deliver a good film no matter what. But sometimes you're going to get something incredible. Other
Guardians.
times you're just going to get a very good film.
Right. And then there's instances like the Guardians of the Galaxy where they're like, oh, well, let's take a lesser known, no name comic type, whatever, put an all star cast to it, and then it becomes a worldwide phenomenon. Twice.
Yeah. I mean, they were very good. They were very well made films.
They are, but they're not like great superheroes. Like they're just kind of like this.
I think that's
misfits. It's part of the charm for sure.
Yeah, and I think that it came out at a point when people were getting not tired of superheroes, but maybe they were getting a bit tired of that standard superhero formula, and this kind of broke that mold a little bit to go, well, not everyone in the Marvel universe is like super slick, like from day one superhero. Actually, these guys are barely even heroes.
Yeah,
they barely even get up on time.
I have said this before though, that I feel like Guardians kind of threw off the whole comedic aspect of Marvel, because then suddenly after that, all these movies had to be funny, and that was really annoying. I almost always point to the instance of going from Thor 1 to Thor 2, where he's this dumb god, and then Thor 3, you're like, oh, he's funny all of a sudden. Everybody likes Thor. Like, it's all because of Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I disagree with that actually, because you're wrong. Basically.
Okay.
You're right when it comes to 4, but then 4 was a necessity, because I think everybody would agree, if 4-3 went down the same route that 4-2 and 1 went down, we wouldn't have a 4-4.
Oh, absolutely.
Because 4 was the worst.
Yeah.
But I don't think it did it for I don't think it skewed the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, because for example, Guardians of the Galaxy came out in 2014. Okay. Civil War, which is a very serious film within the Marvel franchise, out of all of them, it's one of the more serious ones, was 2016. So I wouldn't say it skewed the entire Marvel universe, because there was still some very serious titles. And like I say, Civil War, I'd argue, is one of the more serious, continues that Captain America, quite serious political element.
Yeah.
That the Cap films always touched on, that sort of more political, serious element.
Well, yeah, Winter Soldier was all with communists.
Exactly. And Civil War had very, very few, bar like a couple of little odd bits with Spider-Man, very few comedic moments. In fact, the entire last 30 minutes of that film is just two of your favorite characters kicking the crap out of each other in a quite violent manner. So no, I get what you're saying. It opened the doors for a comedic element, I agree, and 4 capitalized on that massively. But I don't think it forced the MCU to be comedic by any means. I think it just allowed that a comedic element could work. I feel and then the success of something like Deadpool, which also has that comedic element, showed where actually you don't have to have, not every superhero film has to be super serious. We can mix it up a little bit. And I think it's more, it just opened the door, then forced its hand, personally.
I don't think it forced their hand. I just think it made it seem like every movie needed like these laugh out loud moments where it's like, oh, we're going to set Thor up for this funny little bit and everyone's going to laugh and it's going to go viral on social media. Like, it just felt like they got a little more reliant on those one-liners versus it being just a good movie. Like the first couple Captain America movies, Iron Man's a funny character, so that makes sense. Like, his sarcasm is going to generate laughs regardless. But then you have like Captain America, then all of a sudden in like the last couple of Avengers movies, he's got like these witty one-liners. Like, it just seemed like they were like, oh, people want this to be funny and not dumb stone-headed Thor. And so they started to write in these jokes.
But is that not, and I'm not a writer by any means, but is that not a tactic to help engage the audiences in that?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Because if it's super serious for 3 whole hours, emotionally, it's you're only ever coming at that from one emotion. Whereas actually, if you throw in a small comedic element, it kind of pulls the viewer back a moment. They almost puts them back off their guards a little bit for then something else to happen to kind of put them back on edge again. So it's kind of you're playing with the viewer's emotions back and forth a little bit, as
Yeah.
opposed to it just being a single emotion all the way through. So I feel like there's probably some of that in there. I also feel like Ryan's going to be like really pleased with how I've combated your Marvel points today.
I'm trying to figure out a better way to phrase it. And maybe it's just that I felt like every character had to have one-liners. That's what bugged me. Like, there's a difference between Drax saying something so left field that, like, it's funny, and then there's something about, like, Hulk having a funny one-liner. Like, it just seemed like we really didn't need every character to suddenly be funny. And Guardians, they were all kind of funny, besides Groot, but some people like Groot.
Then, is there an argument for that helps build realism to the world? For example, all of the Guardians are quite funny, but they all live together consistently 24/7.
Right.
And you start to like bounce off of each other and sort of have little in jokes, don't you, with each other? Like when you live with someone, you start to bounce off each other a little bit more, and it sort of breaks down the barriers. And you look at Wanda's a prime example. When Wanda comes into the franchise, she's quite a serious character, very much like about the fact that her family have died and she hates everything and blah, blah, blah. But then she ends up living in the compound with Steve, with Vision, with
Right.
Hawkeye, so on. So that the fact that these characters have spent so much time around each other and potentially living in the Avengers Tower or living in the compound or just spending time on missions together, there would be an argument for the fact that actually, as characters, not the way they're written, but as characters, their bonds would have strengthened and their guards would have been broken down to a bit, that they can have these funny one-liners with each other,
But
and
not
it make
everyone's
more
funny.
sense.
But not everyone's funny either.
No, not everyone is funny. I get that, but Cap isn't funny 100% of the time. Every now and then he has a funny one line.
Yeah.
Everybody has a funny one line every now and then. I'm not funny by any means. I think most people would agree I am not funny. I'm no comedian.
I mean,
That doesn't mean every now and then I don't say something that is funny.
that's fair. All right, fine. You're right.
Yes, slays the dragon.
I don't care that much. I've seen every Marvel movie and I enjoy all of them, but
I still haven't watched The Eternals. I've been putting it off. I'm still putting it off.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's why I haven't seen it, because every time I say to someone, I still haven't watched The Eternals, the answer I get is,
It will be worth watching if it collides with Doctor Strange somehow, and I assume it would have to because they spent a lot of money on the Eternals. It has to have a plan.
Does it?
I hope so. It wasn't that bad. Honestly, it's worth watching. I'd give it a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. It's worth watching. It's just not a super in-depth story. Let's put it that way.
I'll watch it one day. It'll be one of those background films I'll watch while I'm doing something else.
That's probably a decent way to watch it. Watch the first 20 minutes like attentively and watch the last 30 minutes attentively, and the rest, whatever. Do what you got to.
It's just one of those films I'll put on while I'm just like writing a report or something for work, and then just have it on in the background.
I haven't committed to watching it again, if that says anything, but if it ends up coming to like a point where these universes are converging, then I need to watch it again. I'd watch it again. It's not that bad.
Okay, that's fair.
And I know you've been watching Moon Knight, but since we're pretty much at the end of an episode, we might as well just talk about it next time once the series is wrapped. I think there's only 6 episodes.
I think that's probably a better idea, because from a spoiler point of view, and also, as you said earlier, we can't say whether it's the best or one of the best shows because we haven't seen the finale yet. The finale could be dog shit and we hate it.
I mean, we can say that the first 2 episodes were phenomenal. Episode 3 threw everybody off. Episode 4, all right, and episode 5, you're like, all right, come on, give us what we need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's a weird one. It's very conceptual, but yeah, we'll save that for next episode. So before because we're probably how long? What time are we on?
1 hour and 9 minutes.
Right, I've got a question for you to finish the episode.
Okay.
Because we haven't really had any games or anime in this episode at all. This isn't games or anime related either.
No
Don't know why I
games
said
at
that.
all.
No, maybe next week. Maybe
Yeah,
next week
maybe
we'll actually
not.
have played something.
We're a
Who
pop
knows?
culture podcast now.
Yeah, we do what we want. You can't control us. Anyway, this question got posed to me the other night while gaming.
Oh.
And I'm curious to answer, but remember, we are on a podcast. Please don't become a criminal.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of, I don't know if you've had a show similar in America called Bernard's Watch?
Called what?
Bernard's Watch?
No.
No. So when I was a kid, there used to be this show called Bernard's Watch, and it was basically about a kid who had this stopwatch, but when he clicked the stop button, it would freeze time.
We had a
and
movie.
He would be the only one that could move.
We had a movie called Clock Stoppers that was done by Nickelodeon in like 1999.
Such a shit name.
Clock
But anyway,
Stoppers.
that's an awful name. Anyway, so the question the other night was, if you had Bernard's watch, or if time stopped for 48 hours, you knew you had that much time, you're the only person not frozen, and you could do anything you want during that time, or you could stop time yourself and restart it when you're ready. What would you do? Don't be a criminal, cheese.
Define criminal. I'm not talking like shooting up heroin or killing people. If that's
Depends what you're about to say. So
I think I would travel to like Egypt. This actually ties to Moon Knight a little bit, which is just clever. But I think I would.
question:
Yes.
Are you flying the plane?
No, I would use, before I get my time stopped, I would fly commercially to Egypt. And then I would like explore the pyramids or something by myself for 2 days or whatever you said, 48 hours. Because really, like, what else is there to do? I don't want to like go to the mountains and relax. Like, I can do that without stopping a clock. Like, what else? You almost have to do something where it's like go streaking in the Coliseum, or like you have to do something that's a little bit more of like a once in a life. Well, not once in a lifetime, but it is once in a lifetime. But like you have to break the rules to be able to do it. So if you could just like freeze the security guards, you could be like, all right, we're doing this. What's your answer?
Yeah. Well,
you've had time to think about this. This isn't fair.
It's not a dodgy answer. I'm not like some of the ones that were said the other night. My answer would be, I'm more in the prank chaos area.
Okay.
Of time stopping.
Okay.
I would go to as many big open public places as possible, supermarkets, shopping centers. I would use that time to strip every single person I find naked.
I knew you were going to say that.
And just wait for time to restart and watch the chaos unfold, and see all these people like just suddenly like halfway through picking up their peas off the shelf realize they're naked and go, shit, I'm naked, and then everyone else is naked. I'm curious as to if all clothes disappeared tomorrow, what would happen? I'm
more curious, how long would it take you to disrobe 200 people in a crowded
That is
plaza?
also a very, I like that, science. So it's a scientific study. How long would it take?
You're doing research at the same time as committing a huge prank against humanity. It's great.
Yeah, but I'm curious as to what would people's first, because like we've seen films and stuff about how people would react to zombie invasions and stuff like. But how would you react if all clothes gone, just disappeared instantly without you knowing?
It'd be pretty funny.
Like what?
But it would also be one of those things where you'd be so concerned about yourself, most likely. I know there's some people out there like, I love being naked. But like, you'd probably be like, oh, what? First of all, it's cold out. Second of all, how did I get here? And third of all, how am I getting home? Like,
yeah, where are my clothes? Where are my keys? I haven't got pockets anymore.
Well, I mean,
where's all my stuff stored?
Don't they call it a prison pocket?
I mean, I'm not going to go around shoving people's items up their arse.
No, I meant your own.
That.
Like, if you didn't have pockets, then you could get creative.
Yeah, I just sit more in the comedy prank area.
I think I like my answer better than yours, though. Like, to be able to go in the pyramids, nobody gets to go in the pyramids unless you've got some doctorate degree.
So, just on that point, before we do finally finish the episode, at the moment, we're trying to sort out our honeymoon. We're trying to book where we want to go. And she said to me several times, do you want to go to Egypt? And I've said, fucking no, I do not.
Yeah, I've heard it's just like a sandy bunch of rocks. Like it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She's like, why not? It's lovely there. I was like, well, A, it's too hot. I don't really like the heat.
Yep.
B, The only thing I'm interested in seeing in Egypt is the pyramids, and I'm not even allowed to get close to them. So it's a fucking waste of time.
Just go somewhere where you fly over Egypt and you can see the pyramids. Done.
I might as well just look them up online. I'll get closer pictures that way. Like, the only thing I want to see, and I can't even see them properly. So, it would annoy me that I can't actually get to see the one piece of their history that I'm super interested in because you're not allowed near them.
So where are you looking at going? I don't want to make this a super long episode, but where are you looking at going instead? What was your counter offer?
So we're looking at Greece at the moment.
Nice.
Because Greece has got some nice little bits of history.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if we could afford it, it was between at one point New York, San Francisco, or Japan.
Japan would.
But
I talked to you about that one time. We're looking at going to Japan.
It's on the list to try and go to Japan within the next few years.
So my second answer to your question about what would you do if you could stop time, I thought about going to some place like Japan, like Tokyo, and then if you could keep like the street vendors alive, like moving in time, to be like the only one shopping in that district area would be absolutely incredible. Cool. That's my second answer.
Yeah, that would be pretty solid. But sometime within the next year or two, we want to look at Japan. But yeah, it was New York, San Francisco, Japan, and then we realised we can't afford any of those three at the moment. So now we're looking at Europe because Europe's substantially cheaper. So Greece is currently the top pick.
We should go to Japan at the same time and do an episode live from Japan. How awesome would that be?
That would be amazing. Just going to Japan at the same time would be amazing.
Right? That's realistic. It's plausible.
Imagine though, if we didn't tell our partners, we're like, oh yeah, we're just going to go out for a drink. Oh, look, it's Jesus here. What are the chances? Should we go have a drink together?
That would be awesome.
Imagine. And on that note, I think we should end this not porn podcast.
Yeah, we're not porn, but we could be. If you're here for the porn, maybe just subscribe anyway. Help us out. You don't have to love us. We just want our vanity link. I think. Yeah,
and to be fair, like if you just like and subscribe.
Yeah,
just do it, please.
And then we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Triple XP. Triple XP.